Hi, my name's Barnaby, and I am going through this book, Guitar Aerobics, one exercise a day for a year, and I'm currently in week 48, so I'm very near the end. So I've been putting up a video once a week, and I've been recording one of these talking head videos once every 8 weeks to give my impressions. So every week I've been finding exercises difficult, and every 8 weeks I've been saying, this or that exercise was particularly hard. In weeks 41 to 48, I've got to say the rhythm exercises were the most difficult. That's because they used a lot of jazz chords, some unfamiliar shapes, and they also used passing notes and difficult rhythms, and they went really fast, crotchet at 144. When you're playing in quavers, it doesn't sound terribly hard, but moving from chords and passing notes in swing time, well, it's a bit of a challenge for someone like me at least. But you'd expect that, because in the last part of the book you're supposed to be playing advanced guitar exercises, and I would not describe myself as anything like an advanced guitar player. So, aside from that, the other thing has been some of the single line exercises have been a bit amelodic, by which I mean they don't make melodic sense in the same way immediately to your ear. Early on in the book you're playing a lot of pentatonic stuff, but suddenly here you're playing that sort of jazz stuff, very chromatic. And the only way you can really get that in your head is by looking at the chords that come with the exercise. And what I do is I play them on the looper, and then I will play the lick over it again and again and again till I kind of internalize the connection between the lick and its harmony, and then I don't need the harmony and I can play the lick by itself, and I can do it in increasing speeds in the rhythm. So that's been a good thing for me. Overall though, as I come to the end of this whole thing, I will say the biggest things have been that my hand feels much more under control. My little finger had been waving around for years and years and years, and it still does a bit, but it's much more under control. It's more where I want it to be. My fingers are lower, I can get a clean sound out of my guitar with what feels like a lot less pressure, and I can have a lot more speed and accuracy. So I'm really, really happy about that result. And my picking is better. I'm getting a bit more tone out of the pick. I'm picking, I'm sweep picking a little bit better. It's still very hard, but I'm sweep picking a bit better. I'm skipping strings a little more accurately. And I sat down the other day to have a look at some classical music, and I found that I could actually play it using string skipping, which is something I don't think I could have done a year ago. So overall, it's had tremendous benefit for me, and it's been that 15 minutes a day thing. Realistically, some of the exercises have taken a lot more time, but I've always tried to say, I'll give it a week. I'll spend a bit of time on it every day within a week, and then I'll record whatever the result is. Now, what that's meant is that I've had some comments on the YouTube channel from people saying, oh, you need to work really, really hard on these exercises and they're not quite there, and you got to keep going until they're perfect. And that's fine, and I think it's really, really good advice for general guitar playing. But I also think for this book that if you work on every single exercise until it's perfect and only then move on to the next one, you'll never ever finish it. And maybe that's okay, but I think that I wanted to do the book as it's written. I wanted to try and follow the instructions as closely as I could, because I figure the guy who wrote it knows a lot more about guitar teaching and how to study the guitar than I ever will. And so I'm just following his instructions. And that means that sometimes I can't play some of the exercises as well as I'd like to. But as I've said in another of these videos, I will go back and I will concentrate on some of the exercises in particular that I really had trouble with, like the sweep picking exercises. I'm not going to make a video of them, but I will do it for my own satisfaction. There's not really a lot to say other than that. As I said, this is the last Talking Head video before I finish the book, so after week 52 I will kind of sum everything up and talk about it all, but I suspect I'm not really going to have much more to say than this, that yeah, it's worth doing.